Member for Trinity-Spadina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Here in Canada, according to the Canadian Cancer Society, 1 out of 2 Canadians will be or at risk in developing cancer. So if you're looking at the House of Commons, out of the over 300 members of Parliament, half are at risk of developing cancer. All across this country, there are hundreds and hundreds of, I should say thousands and thousands of cancer patients that have just been diagnosed. And on average, they have to wait at least 7 weeks before 2 months, almost 2 months, before the treatment starts. And the treatment, on average, takes at least 9 months. There is the CT scans, there is the chemotherapy, or there could be an operation, there could be radiation. And yet, when they are going through this kind of surgery or treatment, they are told by this government that, sorry, they cannot receive any employment insurance beyond 15 weeks, less than 4 months. Now imagine you're already going through a lot of stress. Your body is stressed, your mental health under stress, your family under stress, and then on top of that, you're told that the funds that you have contributed towards all your life, that you have every 2 weeks you put towards an employment insurance so that when you're sick, you get some of the money back. You're told that by the end of the 4 months, not quite 4 months, you cannot get any more employment insurance. And yet, most of these Canadians, on average, are still going through treatment because, according to the Cancer Society, it takes at least 9 months to get treatment. This is the Canadian Breast Cancer Society, Breast Cancer Network, which means that that they are going to either have to remortgage their homes, they are either going to go into debt, or they're going to use up their savings in order to continue their cancer treatment. This is exactly what happened to Marie-Hélène Dubé. She is a 40-year-old woman that have had cancer over and over again. And she collected thousands and thousands, in fact, 500,000 signatures. That's what she got. And you would think this government would listen. No, this government, this Conservative government, is out of touch with the reality of people in Canada. They would not listen. They are ignoring the desire of 500,000 Canadians that have signed a petition to say that we have to extend the employment insurance benefit to at least 50 weeks. The New Democrats have said so for many years. We have, it was in our election platform in 2011. Findon, pardon me, the member of Parliament of that is sitting right behind me from Vancouver, our critic on fisheries, introduced a private member's bill that said that do exactly the same thing as what we have in front of us, and the past leader, Jack Layton, have said so many, many times that EI must be extended to at least 50 weeks, close to a year, for people that are in serious illness. And Canadians shouldn't have to go in debt or lose, on average, $12,000 per household. That's how much they end up using money because of their illness. They shouldn't have to wait for 2 months, and surely they should have a benefit period that would go beyond 15 weeks. Now, in France or in UK, England is 52 weeks. In France, is 12 to 36 months, depending on the kind of sickness. And in Germany, it's 78 weeks. So we are incredibly behind in the way we treat people that have serious illness. Mr. Speaker, it's not just people that have cancer. There are a lot of illness that takes a long time to recover. For example, if you have a liver disease, or you have a stroke, or if you have some kind of heart problems, it takes more than 2 or 4 months to recover from a serious illness. It's not as if these Canadians are asking taxpayers for their money. These money belong to themselves. Most of the people, if you look at the demographics that are suffering illness that lasts a longer time, by and large, they are older Canadians. They would have been contributing on this EI fund for many, many years, almost most of their lives. Now, you would think that this is just natural, and after all these years, how come that we have this system like this? Well, when the Liberals were in government, they gutted the EI program. What they did was they changed the waiting period, they changed the criteria, they changed the benefit period, and they took $54 billion out of the EI program. These $54 billion, in fact, belong to these Canadians. Canadians that have contributed to the employment insurance benefit. And what happened? Well, because the Liberals gutted the program and they took the surplus and used it for their own use, and as a result, well, then the Conservatives said, okay, that's fine. We'll make it into a law, and that it establish a separate body, and that stating that it limits the separate funds to the EI funds to $2 billion.
Legalize this.
And exactly. And my colleague is absolutely right. This is legalizing this stealing of the $54 billion of Canadians' hard-earned money that they have contributed every 2 weeks into this EI fund. And as a result, people like Marie-Hélène Dubé are not allowed to get their EI, her EI money. And it's not just about her. On average right now, as of today, we note that there were 328,770 claims for special benefits under the EI program. A third of them are at serious illness that require more than 15 weeks. You're talking about over 100,000 Canadians that have their employment insurance benefits cut off just as a time when they need it most. Just as a time when they are under stress, that they need this government to support them so that they can get some of their money back, they are told, no, sorry, your benefit have gone, it's gone, and as a result, they are disqualified, or that they run out of their benefits and they end up having to use their savings or go into debt. And this is just completely irresponsible behavior, because what is happening is that the household debt in Canada has been going up tremendously. And we know why. This is one of the reasons, because we have all these Canadians that are that get sick, and at a time when they really need the help, they have to get into debt. They have to take out a line of credit, borrow money, or find some ways, or some of them, which I know, end up bringing in their rental payment into their credit cards, and then paying 18 to 20% interest, and they get into more and more debt. And we know that a third of Canadians are very sick that they are 1 or 2 paychecks away from getting into trouble. And they are getting into trouble because precisely because this Conservative government and the Liberal government before them are out of touch of the reality of ordinary Canadians that desperately need the help when they are sick. And let us collectively approve this private member's bill, get it into the committee so that it can become law, so that people that are sickness, people that have cancer or Marie-Hélène Debay will finally get their money that they deserve. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.